Hello, hello. All right, let's have a Sunday update. A couple things. One, I hit my very lowest weight in the last 5 years on Happy Scale. I've been using Happy Scale since 2015. I have never put a weight in under, I think it was 153.2. I think I told you guys that last week. Today and yesterday, I weighed in both days at 152.8. So that's the lowest recorded weight I've ever added into the Happy Scale app. And what has ultimately been happening for me in the last 3-ish weeks, I've been focusing on not tracking calories. I've been using the ATE app, ATE app, to take photos of my food. I know calories pretty well like the back of my hand. I have journaled them since about 2006, points or calories. So I'm well versed on all of that. But what I've been doing is really working on some other aspects of my eating behaviors, which is actually eating for physical hunger, not emotionally triggered. And I would say that's gotten a little easier this last week. There was about, I think I had maybe a week or so back where I remember feeling a little resentful that I wasn't actually physically hungry because I really wanted to eat something. And so ultimately that has been something I've become more aware of. The other thing that's really happened for me this last week, if I were to say what's the biggest change in this last week for me, it's that when I'm finishing a meal, I'm not feeling as much anxiousness about leaving food on my plate. It's actually becoming easier, which is really surprising for me. Normally, I think if I were to say where did calories hold me back a little bit versus stopping when I'm satisfied, if I had pre-tracked a meal and I knew it was say 400 calories and I had already booked it in for the day, I would have probably finished that meal because I felt like I had spent my calories on it, like I spent my money, you know? And now because I'm not tracking calories, I'm just taking photos, I eat till I'm satisfied, and then I gently remind myself, compassion, remember we keep bringing that subject back up, compassion. I say, hey Heather, you know, if you really enjoyed this meal and you want to finish it later, we'll throw it in Tupperware, you can have it later. And this is literally how I talk to myself, by the way, just want to be clear on that. Or I say to myself, hey Heather, the next time you're hungry, you really like that Jell-O salad or peanut butter yogurt with blueberries, we'll have that if you get hungry later. I've also been portioning out a little less because I'm typically not finishing my meals. So if I would have, and I've been using my food scale, I should be clear on that. I'm not tracking calories, but I am using my food scale to weigh out my portions because my eyes have notoriously been bigger than my belly. So I put my food up on the food scale, but I'm starting myself out with less, with again compassion and coaching to remind myself that if I want more, I can absolutely have it. But what's really cool is I haven't been wanting more. So like if I'm making a chopped salad, I normally would have put 4 ounces of chicken in that. So now I'm kind of scaling it back to maybe 2.5 or 3 ounces because I'm noticing I get fuller quicker, and I'm starting out with a little less because I can always go back and have more if I want it. So it's more of a psychological change. But with all of these changes, the leaving food on the plate for me used to feel like, and I use this because I have kids, it's kind of like kids are really into a video game and you want them to turn it off and get away from the game. And there's like this pull to keep playing the game. They don't want to stop. I haven't been feeling that with food. Like when I start to feel content, I'm actually good with pushing it away. I'm good with stopping because I know I can eat again if I get hungry, or I can save whatever it is. If I'm really enjoying it, I can save it. And when I get hungry again later, I can have it. So that's become softer, I guess is the only way to put it. I used to feel very rigid about that. I'm feeling a little softer about that. So those are kind of my big personal updates. I'm closing in on my weight loss goal, getting down to the 150 mark. But here's something I want you to take away from all of this. One, change is ever going. It is not a stop-start thing. If you had asked me 7 years ago, do you think you would not be tracking calories? Do you think you'd be okay leaving food on your plate? My answer would be a hell no. I would be like, are you crazy? Do you know me at all? But you know what's funny is we evolve in this process. We aren't the same people 5, 7 years later. And all that I did during that time was not wasted. It gave me a solid foundation to make changes now, right? So we have to change our whole perspective on this. If one day you don't want to track calories, okay, just look at what you're doing now as maybe like the prerequisite for where you want to go, and that you may not be limited, who knows? But if you did need to do it, if I had to go back to tracking calories, I have no problem with that. I don't harbor any resentment toward doing it. I did this more as a fun experiment. I'm learning a lot about myself, and it's a lot of fun. If we change our whole perspective on it, it opens doors as opposed to closing them. The other thing is consistency. So in the time that I've been maintaining my weight, the last 8 going on 9 years now, the most I've ever been up is about 15 pounds. In my history, I would have gained everything back. Why did this not happen this last time? Because I consistently weighed in and put my weight in the happy scale, even when my weight was going up. Even when I didn't like what I was seeing. I stayed consistent with journaling my food in some aspect, whether it was paper pencil, MyFitnessPal, I've taken photos before. I've done all of it, but it's a personal mindfulness awareness practice. If I know what I'm eating, I'm making better choices. And I've never not leaned into the community. I always lean into the Half Size Me community. I share my reality. I'm usually very vulnerable and very real because I need that. Like, I am on my own journey. I'm walking a journey with them. We are all at different places in our journey, but we're all walking the same path, right? And so those are some keystone things that have led me to not gaining more than 15 pounds. And so I just want to encourage you, big weight loss is possible. Change is possible. Learning new skills is possible. You are not one and done. I mean, you are going to ever evolve in this. Be excited about that. Be willing to learn about yourself, and don't be fearful. And then find those few things, like for me, weighing in, journaling food, connecting with my support community, that keep you from spiraling out of control. That would be my big takeaway for everybody today. All right, guys, I will update you next week on how I'm doing. I hope you had a great week. If you need some additional support, please put comments and questions for me below. And then if you could like and subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm turning out lots of content there, and I would love for you to be there and help spread the word so we can bring a little bit more sanity to this weight loss world. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.